I'll just say my whole life I've loved having shiny hair. And starting in, right, I think right around when the pandemic started, I decided to join the movement and let my hair go gray. And I did it for a couple of different reasons. I did it, one, because I actually like the look. I think it's really pretty. And two, mentioned in many previous videos, I have a lot of ongoing health issues that have not been able to be resolved over the years, go over the course of 20 to 30 years. And I realized that continuing to dye my hair was just not helping that. Putting poison on my head every 2 weeks. Essentially, I had pretty dark hair when I was young, so in order to keep it looking like it was actually brown, I needed to dye it every 2 weeks. And once I stopped doing that, I will say my health took a really significant leap forward. So hair products is something that I have a lot of thoughts about, and so my sort of base that I've always used is Aveda products. I love them, very high quality, quite expensive, right? So that is one of the things. I buy them and I use them around other products. I don't always use the same products because I find with my hair, I have very fine hair, that one of the things that happens is if I use the same product all the time, it sort of just gets used to it and then stops performing well. So I swap up my products a lot. So Aveda has always been a base for me. I love all their shampoos. It just sort of depends on your hairstyle, shampoos, conditioners, etc. I particularly resonate with the Brilliant line because it does make my hair really shiny and it's good for fine hair. Another one that I tried during the pandemic and I really, really like a lot is Prose. Again, kind of pricey, so I just buy it every once in a while and use it slowly. It is a subscription base, so when you sign up for it, you do have to get a subscription. So I'll just sign up for it periodically, use it for a while, accrue some, and then I'll cancel my subscription, and then I'll go back and do it again. And that one's really, really nice. I had very, very stick straight hair my whole life until it started going gray. At the time that it started going gray, I was living in Hawaii, so I always attributed to like a little bit of natural curl living in Hawaii, but it turns out it was actually my gray hair. And so the Prose has worked really well with that. Another one that I've tried that I really like a lot is Hair Story, H-A-I-R, Hair Story. And that is, again, a subscription base. So you buy into it, you use it for a while, you can cancel your subscription. It does last a really long time. When I'm using either the Prose or the Hair Story, at this point, I really only need to wash my hair probably twice a week. So that is, very cost effective for you when you're in your 60s. And then another one that I like a lot is, actually that's not true. Another one that I'm trying out is Dr. Groot. It's a scalp revitalizing shampoo. And funny story, I was in a Costco and was looking at the different shampoos and ended up having this really great conversation with a woman who was just starting in perimenopause and menopause. And we had like a long, Costco conversation. It was probably about 5 minutes where she was just really struggling with hair loss and all of the things that start to happen when you're in perimenopause. So we had a really nice connection around the fact that it doesn't last forever. Things do get better. You get through perimenopause, you get through menopause, you get through postmenopause. It does not last forever, but it's very brutal when you're in it. So I'm trying that one out. She recommended that. She said that both her hairdresser and her dermatologist had recommended it. It's a Dr. Groot, Groot. And then the last thing I'll talk about is, again, I have very fine hair. I can't do a lot of heat styling on it. So a lot of the styles that have been in vogue in the last many years have had to do with pressing your hair or different kind of curling irons. And I can do that occasionally, but I cannot do that on an ongoing basis. But one thing that has worked really well for me is the Dyson hair wrap. Again, very expensive, so this is not for everybody, but you can buy them used. You can buy them like from Walmart or from other places where you're just buying a subset of the parts. And what I have found with that is that I just don't have the hair damage when I use that because it dries it very quickly. There's a lot of different kinds of tools you could use. I added, the regular mix comes with brushes, and it comes with a roller brush, and it comes with essentially a curling iron, 2 different sizes of curling iron tools. For my set, I bought a $10 diffuser that is also an attachment for that, and I use some of the some of the tools that came with it on the top of my hair to get a little bit of volume, and then I use on the ends, I use the diffuser, and it works great. So that's the hair section. And then in terms of face, what I have really been loving lately is Jones Road Beauty product. I will say, as I head into this more naming more other kinds of products, none of this is endorsed or sponsored, right? This is just me talking about products that I've bought and I've used. The other thing I would say is, if you like this, please like and subscribe. And the why for that is because if you find this interesting, if you like and you subscribe, also it makes this content available for more people on YouTube. So Jones Road, I've really been loving that. A friend of mine sent me one of their offerings off of Instagram for my birthday, and I love it. I have at this point, I have the blush, and I have the illuminator, I have the mascara, and the thing that I want to try is their WTF product. Is What the Foundation, super light foundation. I have not yet gone into that, but I'm going to give that one a try. I have rosacea. I mentioned that at in another video, and for me, what that means is my nose and here is just red all the time, and I'm on camera a lot. I do a lot of Zoom meetings for work, probably 4 hours a day of Zoom meetings. And over the last year, what was happening is I was starting to look like a bozo with a big old red nose. And so I do use a lot of products to try to tone that down. One of them is a medication that I got from my dermatologist, a long-term prescription that you use on the places where you have rosacea. And over time, over the course of a year, it tones your skin down. And I've been using it now for over 6 months, and it is really working. But I also use, primer and a little bit of foundation. I'm not a big makeup person, you can see that. I don't use foundation all over my face, but I definitely use it here on this part of my face. The other piece for me that influences this is I have histamine intolerance issues, quite a lot of them. And so if I eat something that sets off a histamine reaction, that's exactly where you turn red. You get a butterfly essentially, and it's all in the same area. So Jones Road, loving Jones Road these days. A couple of products that I want to try for the face. One is Lumiana Milano Under Eye Brightener. I've seen that over and over and over again on Instagram. It looks really awesome. I want to try that one out. And then I just saw a dry brush facial brush. So the Gui Sha, I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's a facial brush, a facial massage technique that comes from traditional Chinese medicine. You've probably seen it a lot. There's stone butterflies. People use it to basically do lymphatic massage on their face. And if you do it on a regular basis, it really does bring down the inflammation on your face and your neck. And it can be, on your décollage, all the different places where you experience inflammation. But the stones, for me, with my more mature skin, it just has not felt comfortable for me using that. So I did recently see one where it's a dry brush. I love dry brushing. I think it's really great for you from the detoxifying perspective. So I'm going to give that one a try as well. Okay, so moving on to eyes and lips. I have been using Thrive mascara, which I really, really like. It's one of those mascaras that does a tubing effect, right? So I have teeny weeny little eyelashes, hardly any at all left anymore. I am trying out some of the different serums. I just watch what I see go by on Instagram or in, other social media, and I try different ones. The one I'm using right now is called Socorro. I do like it. I think it makes a difference. But then the Thrive tubing mascara makes my eyelashes look a lot longer. And then the two that I want to try are Alley Oop and Prime Lash. So once my Thrive runs out, I will try out Alley Oop and Prime Lash. And I'm just gonna circle back around to the Jones Road. Their mascara is also amazing. It's not tubing. It doesn't appear to be tubing. I might get corrected on that. But it does really work well, and it's lovely, and it washes off very easily. That's the other thing I like about all of these mascaras that I talked about. They wash off really easily with water, right? And again, my skin is kind of fragile at this point, so I don't want something where I have to rub a lot, especially on the skin around my eyes. And then lips, I have been trying several different things. One of my pandemic distractions was playing with makeup and playing with different kind of skincare. And so I tried during the pandemic I tried Wonder Skin, which is a lip stain. Search for it on Instagram or TikTok or anywhere and you'll see a ton of videos. It's the one where you paint it on and it looks sort of bright purple and you either peel it off or you wipe it off and then you have a lip stain. And it lasts for, you know, at least 12 hours, usually longer than that. I love, love, love Wonder Skin. I bought a bunch of it during the pandemic, but I also bought a whole bunch of other things. And so my job in 2025 and probably bleeding into 2026 is that I have to use up all of the things that I bought during the pandemic before I can buy more. So as soon as I can, I'm gonna go back and buy some more Wonder Skin. I also really like City Beauty lips, kind of every version that they have. They have a lot of really great colors. The one that I have not found, I don't wear it very much anymore as I've gotten older, but they don't have a bright red. I am wearing it right now. It's a beautiful rose color. This is the color that I use most often, but most of their colors are lighter than this. So for me, I go with the heavier colors. So City Beauty lips, love it, and they always are having sales. It's $35 a tube, which is a lot, but it works really well. It's super hydrating, and like many times during the year, you can get a BOGO, buy one get one free. Sometimes it's even more than that. So just look for the sales. And then what I've been really using lately is lip oils. And I always have one in my pocket, as you can see. I think this one I bought at, you know, Ross. This one is Pure Benefits. I really, really like it. Again, none of this is sponsored. None of this is for any, you know, any endorsement. I just happen to love, even though I hardly wear makeup, I happen to love all sorts of different kinds of makeup and trying it and playing with it. So yeah, so that is my products that I'm loving in makeup and fashion as I'm aging. Again, if this was fun and interesting to you, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for joining me at Finding My Voice. Testing, just to see if the placement is right.